Thank you so much for taking the time to come onto the show. As I said, I really appreciate your time. So you are the CEO of Ancora.AI, which is a tool to help people find suitable clinical trials that they might consider taking part in, depending on what condition they may have. Why would I want to even look into a clinical trial? I mean, what would it how would it benefit me as a patient?
So, what clinical trials ultimately offer is access to the latest in medicine, and that's how we see it. And why we started in Cora was just I was studying with or with pharma. I was helping them get these new treatments to market, and really seeing amazing medicine coming through, especially in cancer. And everyone that I knew, unfortunately, in multiple geographies, if they were diagnosed with cancer, they would go straight to chemo, and chemo is very difficult. And there's of course, I think a lot of people know about what that treatment looks like, feels like, and there's just such incredible new treatments being investigated that you could potentially take instead of a chemo, which could save a lot of the side effects that unfortunately many people experience. But access to these treatments is really sometimes limited through trials. And in specific markets, and I'll call out the UK in this one, I think it's well known that it is difficult to get approval for a lot of the new treatments. And I know this is something the community, at least the cancer communities that we've worked with, they're very, or they're advocating very heavily for, is to accelerate some of these approvals. But clinical trials could offer you access to those treatments. And yeah, I think the piece that saddens me the most is that trials are typically picked up or looked at after many treatments have failed, and it's sort of your last option. And it saddens me because I think there are some great opportunities for trials earlier on. And kind of that last resort is where trials are sitting now in terms of kind of a care or a treatment pipeline pathway. And so we'd love to see patients know about it, ask about it earlier, and see if they could get access to maybe some of these new treatments. And they're not always, we'll call it new, let's see, does
Mm.
this work? Can this body tolerate it? It's not always at that level. I mean, some of them, if, for example, they're testing an investigational treatment that is targeting mutations, they will look at it by condition. So it could be already approved for colorectal cancer, but now we're looking to approve it in a different indication, say
Yeah.
pancreatic or et cetera. So it's still access to what I would say pretty good medicine.
Yeah.
And the cost, of course, is also a nice one as well, where, and this is more, I guess, for the US folks, where healthcare costs are not small.
Yes.
And clinical trials, you do get that investigational treatment for free, because, of course, you're helping move or investigate that treatment on behalf of a sponsor. And so I think that also makes it quite interesting for people as well.
How do I make sure that all the trials that I may be eligible for, I can, is there on Ancora.ai?
Yes. So one thing that we do is we always make sure the original form of the trial is available. So you'll see that short list from us, but you can always go to the full form and read through to see, that it actually makes sense. Otherwise, we only remove the trials when you answer the questionnaire. So let's say if you don't agree or you think something has gone wrong, you can just change your answer, say not sure, and all those trials come back.
Right.
So you have it's all at your fingertips in a way, just with playing with the interface itself. We will be introducing a new section where we can say kind of the junk pile, I think, in
Yeah.
a nicer way. I'm clearly not our marketing person, but on that side,
The
where
junk
we
pile. Yeah,
junk
that's
pile.
a good marketing term.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I would never get a job in marketing. Never hire me. Yes, so that section to just say, trials here and the reason why. And because we have that log on our side, in terms of every time we run this process, we have those logs of why trials are or not included. So then we can just make that visible as well. So for those who are curious of what have I not been made eligible for, that they can kind of meander over to this to be named section and see the rationale behind that.
Right. Okay. And I guess people may also want to be reassured that all the trials that are listed, if I were to go onto, a particular website, say, where they list all the trials, all those trials that are listed on your on the platform.
Absolutely, absolutely. And with that piece, I mean, one of the recent ones that we've been looking at has been tumor agnostic trials, where searching by a particular condition, it's actually difficult sometimes to find those trials, and they may be more related to certain genetic mutations. And so that we've spent a lot of time making sure that really every condition that is potentially eligible for that trial, that we can find those tumor agnostic trials and appropriately slot them as well. So we're really, I mean, our main mission is that it is unbiased. It is all your options. We do not want to be the point that holds you back. So that's our number one goal.
Yeah, and it's free to use.
Absolutely.
And you just download it on your you can download it on your phone and just use it on your phone or desktop, laptop, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just an open website. So we try to put as little barriers as possible,
Mm.
including financial. We've seen some people offer services for this where you pay for someone to help you. I think that's just terrible because
Mm.
for so many reasons. But I mean, a lot of the people that aren't being access or offered trials, I mean, just putting an extra, cost in front of that, I think isn't going to help us in terms of increasing access and awareness. So yeah, it's absolutely free for patients.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I've been on it. I think I've logged on and created a username, and it is really, really a good experience. It's very easy to use. It's very intuitive, and it would definitely, compared to the other experience of looking for trials, say online on Google, it is just worlds apart, really.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. If you have any
Yeah.
suggestions, please do let us know. We're
Okay.
always working to make it better. There's a lot
Yeah,
more
no,
information to
definitely I
add.
will. But presumably that's the aim, isn't it? So you want to be able to make clinical trials more accessible to people, and that is how you use. That is why you're going to be using this platform.
Absolutely, absolutely. And my hope is also if we have enough people using this platform, we can use that to also kind of challenge back the sponsors for additional information. So what's available right now online is fairly limited. And like for me, the data that I would love to see and is so incredibly difficult to get are things like what is the duration of this trial? What are the frequency of visits expected of me? Is there assistance available if I have to travel in terms of helping me travel or just financial assistance as well? And I mean, they, of course, they're not the main components of a trial in a way. So I can see why they haven't been included on registries, but from the patient perspective, that's almost the most important
Yeah,
part of the trial.
yeah,
And we've been trying to ask to find out just ways to make that information more visible. And honestly, it's been quite a challenge to get
yeah,
responses there. So this is where I'm hoping that the more kind of patients can come together, be aware of trials, we can collectively kind of have this pushback and hopefully kind of challenge the system to give us this additional information and help just improve trials.
yeah. No, yeah. That's right. It's as a patient, those are the for the clinical trial units. That's probably not interested to them. Who cares, how many visits it needs, whatever needs to happen. But as a patient, that actually is a huge deal.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. If you have any advice to somebody out there who is thinking about clinical trials, what would it be?
Oh, I would say just please ask and try and just keep this on your line of sight. Like I said, to me, it's just most tragic when patients come to us, really when it's their last shot. And I would just really pray that more patients can consider this and just always and just be curious and ask. And like I said, I'm happy to make all the phone calls for you, but I think it's just so important to know your options and to advocate for yourself and to be aware of these options. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, I am here all the time. I have a lot of opinions as well.
So
um,
if people want to connect with you, where should they go?
So for me personally, you can just email me, Danielle at Ancora.AI. I know, again, very creative, so that's all me. But we are active on social channels as well. We'll certainly respond. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So please reach out there as well. I'm happy to have conversations. Like I said, I think awareness is so important, and we've got a long way to go there on awareness and education. So we're trying to do what we can to help improve that.
That's great, and I'll definitely leave all of these links in the show notes so you can, find out more about Ancora.AI and connect with Danielle. And if you have any questions, I'm sure you can ask Danielle and the team. So, Danielle, once again, thank you so much for your time. Really, really appreciate it. Really excited about all the work that you're doing.
No, thank you so much for the opportunity. And we have about 2 more podcast episodes, I think, so far.
Oh, for sure, right? Definitely. I'm definitely going to have to reschedule and get you back on to talk about other really interesting stuff. So yeah, but thank you so much for today. Really appreciate it.